we here now, episode 2 of the 10-part series of Space Force on Netflix. You know me, I'm MoedotJ. I'm not gonna hold you up, but if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you get something every time I upload. We're on that grind to 2,000 subscribers, so let's give a shout out to all of my returning subscribers. Hey, if you remember last episode on Space Force, we seen the satellite get its solar panels detached by a Chinese satellite. So that's where we start off on episode 2. Let's jump right into this. Like I said, at the end of episode 1, we see the satellite. General looks up and he sees the satellite solar panels get detached from it. So pretty much without the solar panels, it doesn't have any time, like any power to move the satellite where it needs to go. Dr. Mallory, he looks at it and he sees it too, and they both had the same reaction. Mother effer. So these two, they gotta speed back to the base and figure out what they're going to do about these solar panels and how they're going to either get them back or send something up there to fix this. And why is China messing with it? So as they pull off, the daughter pulls up. Remember, she went to a concert in the desert with a guy that was older than her. So they pull up, but nothing happens between the two. They just talk and she tells him, I have to go inside. I have homework to finish, while they're headed to the base. So upon arrival, the doctor, he's calling his people and they're trying to figure out how much time and how much power do they have left to try to fix the little solar panel problem. So it comes out that they have 10 hours. Once they get in there, Dr. Mallory, he starts asking people, what do we think we can do? And of course, General, he doesn't really know anything about space or science. So he's like, we need to attach the panels back to the satellite. He's like, obviously, that's what we're trying to do. So all of the scientists, they start coming up with ideas. One scientist has a very good idea where they use the thrusters from the satellite to push it towards each solar panel and then try to reconnect them. Dr. Mallory says that works, but how can we use the thrusters if the solar power comes from the panels which aren't attached? So now they're all in limbo, like, what can we do? What can we do? How can we figure this out? So at this point, they got 10 hours. They're sitting at a round table. Everyone's trying to figure out what they can do. So General, he comes up with some weird idea. He picks up a little ball and a ruler and he says, this is the satellite. This is the solar panel they broke apart. Everyone's like, thanks, General, that we know that. Please excuse yourself. We don't need your assistance. You're not doing anything. So everyone's pretty much coming up with different ideas. All right, if we do this, maybe with the little bit of battery we have left, we can like send the satellite this way. But long story short, no one can come up with anything because everything is centered around those solar panels having the power. So pretty much they just came to a dead end. They probably wasted an hour, 2 hours throwing around ideas. Meanwhile, while all of this is going on, the daughter's at home trying to figure out her trigonometry and she's having a hard time. You can tell she ain't paid no attention in school. I can't knock her. I took calculus. That was my highest level of math that I took in college. I got a C in it. I passed. But trig, I didn't want no parts of that. I mean, calculus, I haven't used it at all. I mean, when I do these YouTube videos, all I have to do is press start and stop. I don't have to do anything else. But so she ends up calling her grandfather, and we all know her grandfather doesn't remember anything. So a scammer had called the grandfather and was like, yeah, we kidnapped your daughter. We need you to send money. So he sent money, and she's like, no, granddad, that's a scam. No one kidnapped me. And he doesn't remember anything. So he just tells her, well, whenever you get the money, just pay me back for it. Pretty much he ends up hanging up because his wife is starting to fart because she sleeps with oxygen. And he's like, I got to turn off the oxygen because it's giving her too much air and she has gas. So he hangs up and she doesn't know what to do with this mask. So she's pretty much just sitting there like, failed. So with all this going on, they came up with no ideas. So pretty much General's talking about, hey, let's, try to shoot the solar panels and see if they'll come towards it. But Dr. Mallory's like, that won't work in space. So now we're just all in limbo again. Dr. Chan is like, let me see what we have on the ship. So he starts reading off what's on the ship, and the manifest says that there's chimpanzee food, there's dog food for a male dog and a male chimpanzee. And then another doctor's like, why is there animal food on there and I'm the animal specialist and there's nothing there? It turns out that There was two animals put on the satellite to be sent to space. It was a chimpanzee and a dog. No one expected this. The only person that knew was General, but he forgot to mention it. He said that POTUS wanted them to have that on there, just to have some experimental things going on it. So what they do is they bring in the trainer of the animals. General has a crazy idea. So pretty much the trainer of the animals, Marcus and Theodore. Theodore is the dog, Marcus is the chimpanzee. So pretty much the chimpanzee knows sign language. Believe it or not, the chimpanzee knows sign language, and what General wants the trainer to do is to instruct this chimpanzee on how to go outside and try to attach things together. But the chimpanzee has a little problem. So the trainer's trying to explain to him that when I train an animal, I have to have treats to, positive reinforcement. You do something good, here's a treat. So he knows, do this again, I get a treat. So he's saying it might take a couple weeks for me to train the chimpanzee to do what you wanted to do. Grab a tool and go put some solar panels on it. But General was like, no, we got to have this done today. Like, how much time we have left? 8 hours? So pretty much the chimpanzee isn't trying to work without having snacks. Then it comes out, they do a little research and say chimpanzees eat baby chimps. There's no chimps on there, and they're out of, you know what I'm saying? They've been up there for a while, so they're out of snacks for the chimpanzee. So he's trying to tell the chimpanzee, I don't know how to do sign language, but he's trying to tell him, hey, if you do this, we'll give you more snacks. But they can't give it snacks. Like I said, here's the tough part. They're trying to get the chimpanzee to grab a drill, go outside, and attach the things together. Now, the only thing is, the chimpanzee, once it puts its helmet on, whatever it sees, it's only going to do whatever you click on the screen for it to do. So you have to wait for the chimpanzee to hover over the drill and then click it. Ding, 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 ding. So this ends up taking 2 hours for the chimpanzee to do it. And they're all like, oh my goodness, we're wasting so much time. But the chimp finally grabs the tool, and now it's time to make its way outside to put the panels back onto the satellite, hopefully. So Marcus finally makes it outside. He floats over to the satellite, he grabs a solar panel, and he gets it there. Now, of course, it is a chimpanzee, so he's trying to figure it out. He's putting it to it, but he's not actually lining it up. But whenever the solar panel touches the fin of the satellite, it clicks, pretty much showing that the static electricity is going to work. They try to get it over there. Once he attaches it to it, this is when all hell breaks loose. So he begins to attach it. He puts the drill on there. But of course, when you're in space, there's nothing stopping you. You just free weight out there. So when he presses the drill, instead of the drill turning, the drill bit, so instead of the drill bit turning, his whole body starts to turn. He loses control. It shoots off of the satellite. Oh my goodness. So it turns out while he's floating, they say he's on a one-way course to intercept with the sun in about a week. So at this point, General is like, man, well, how much would it cost for us to go send something up there to save him? Dr. Chan says between 40 and $200 million. He's like, oh, well, he's gonna die anyway. I can't say that. So General is like, give this chimpanzee the highest medal that we can give him in the Space Force. And everyone's like, we can't do that. He's a chimp. And then he says, no spaceman is going to be left behind. Get him an award. And everyone's like, that won't work. It just won't happen. He's a chimpanzee. Like, it's impossible, sir. It's not going to happen. Word gets back to the Secretary of Defense that there's a chimpanzee flying off into space that they can't save. The satellite doesn't have solar panels. Everything is going wrong. It's chaotic. So he's on the phone with General and he's asking him all kinds of questions like, did anyone thinking about bombing the satellite? Sir, why would we bomb the satellite? So General's in here drinking. They're trying to figure it out, man. They don't know what's going on, man. It's just, at this point, he's failing at being a Space Force general. But it turns out, on the way to intercept with the sun, you remember the Chinese satellite? Well, it's made a full orbit, and Marcus, he ran straight into it. General's like, don't go in there, don't go in there. But Marcus sees it, and he's a smart chimpanzee, so he actually goes inside of the Chinese satellite, because hey, he's safe now. For him, it's like, hey, I'm a chimpanzee, I'm not a human. I'm about to get here, get saved, I'm not about to die. But hey, he made it to safety, even though he's with the enemy at this point. So General's headed home. He's talking to Captain Angela, that's his driver. And he's just telling her, we lost our first person today, a spacenaut. It was a very good guy, Marcus. And turned out Marcus ate the dog, Theodore. Oh, man. That was the first person we ever lost. Theodore was a good spaceman. But he gets home and his daughter, she's asleep. He wakes her up and he starts helping her with her homework. Like, you're a smart girl. You're going to need math. So, I'll try to help you as best as I can, and let's figure it out together. So they sit down and actually do the homework, and hey, that's the end of the episode. Hey, so that's episode 2 of Space Force. Comment below if you were the chimpanzee. I'm not calling anybody a monkey. If you were the chimpanzee and you seen the Chinese satellite, would you go to that to be safe? Comment below. Let me know what you think. Hey, I'm MoedotJ. Thank you for watching, man. Like I said, subscribe to the channel. I deeply appreciate it. We're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. We're about 500 away. Every sub counts. Hey, and if you like my content, hit the notification bell also. I'm MoedotJ. Follow me on all my social media. It's MoedotJ. Thank you for watching. We'll be here tomorrow for episode 3 of Space Force. I'm out.
Jimmy on the beat, boy.